We're setting up, but welcome to the party. I'm gonna mute it for now.
Hello.
No, but you're fully ready. You're ready now. Say hi to everybody. You're good.
You look very happy.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, okay, for real. So, as you can see, we've been having a good time tonight. And so, this is Tea Time with Taiche. So, tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about mental health and sexual health. Okay. Yes. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, you know, we can stay for that part too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's so sweet.
Some good snacks here. I love it.
And some wine. Cheese and wine goes together very well. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Good. All right.
Nice.
So this is Miss Charlotte McCullough,
Yes.
right? She is a therapist. So can you tell the people what you specialize in? I know a lot of people know you, but for the people who don't, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I'm Charlotte McCullough, licensed marriage and family therapist. I specialize in mental health therapy for women, couples, and corporations around all things with wellness. So when I say I specialize in mental health counseling for women, so I'm talking about all things that have to do with women. So that's from postpartum, that's from depression, that's anxiety, that's from transition, that's from relationships, divorces, grief, all those things that pertain to women.
Wonderful. That's a wonderful introduction. So, all right. So listen, I do have a question
Yes.
because lately we've been talking about mental health
Yes.
and mental wellness and self-care and all this other good stuff, right? So it's like almost like second language just about.
It's true.
So what I have researched is that as far as mental health is concerned, depression, anxiety is like an all-time high, right?
Mhm.
So when it comes to women and depression, what are the causative factors that you typically see when you do therapy with the women?
So, one of the reasons why I love working with women, because I'm a woman, right? So, when we talk about lived experience and mental health, so different things that causes depression or causes anxiety, it can be a number of things from person to person. There is no cookie cutter to say this is why you have this, but to answer your question, some of the common things, majority of those things around relationships. A lot of it is around relationships, a lot of high stress when it comes to business for women, a lot of grief when it comes to women, because you know we don't only experience grief when we lose someone physically, but it could be a change in socioeconomic status. It can be a change in business. It can be a change in business partners. It can be a change or a loss, all types of things, a loss of a pet, all types of things like that. But for women, mainly relationships and high stress around burnout. Because most of us strong, strategic, beautiful women, a lot of us are codependents, you know, not everybody, but a lot of us are codependents where we do seek validation from external things.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Don't make me laugh.
So,
Right.
when it comes to that, so when women come and they say, "I need help," but they don't know where to start.
Right.
How do you unpack what it is that they don't even know what they're going through? Because we say relationships, right?
Right.
But oftentimes, relationship is the trigger
Absolutely.
that brings them
That's a
in.
good question.
And it may not necessarily be the man that they're with or a significant other that they're with.
Absolutely. Or the parents.
Or the parent,
or their
right.
children, adult children. Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So when we think about mental health, right? Mental health has to do with your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. So all three of those encompass your mental health: your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. And then when you come in for an appointment and you say things like Tasha said, like, "Hey, I just know I need help. Like something ain't right. Something is off." Coming in, the first thing that we do in therapy is assess you. And when we do an assessment, we look at all parts of your life. For marriage and family, we look at all parts of your life, everything like a systemic, like a system. So that has to do with your marriage or your relationship with you and your partner, your adult children. It has to do with your business. It has to do with your neighbors. It can be things if you're in college, all the things that's pertaining to you. We assess all those different components or different roles that you have to find out to get to the root of what is it that is causing some challenges. Sometimes we don't know. We just know that I feel off. I just know that I can't sleep. I just know that I'm not connecting to people right now. I just know that everybody's getting on my nerves, or I just know I cry a lot, or I just know that I'm mean as hell right now. And I don't know why, but you know, I'm just mean right now. And that's why we look at it as a system, not just the one thing that you tell me. You may come in and say, like, I had an argument with my husband last night. You may say, I'm thinking about my grandma. I lost my grandma a little while ago, and something triggered me, But when I hear that, that lets me know there's some other things that's possibly going on. It's not just that one thing. And when you think about it, as human beings, we are like different. We're complex individuals. There are so many things that have to do with our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. If that answers it.
That did.
Probably overboard.
But no. Well needed, right? Okay. So what I want to ask you is that being that you have to unpack. So speaking for myself, I done had several therapists throughout my life, right?
Yeah.
None of that shit worked. Oh, none of that stuff worked.
We're real tonight. Yes.
It did.
We're real.
How long? Oh no, honey, you've been live for longer than 2 minutes. You can pass.
Yeah.
This is basically a good watch out.
Yes.
It didn't work. But what I noticed is one of the main reasons why it didn't work. I just didn't like when I would come and I would sit on a therapist's couch and they'd be like, let's start with your childhood.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
I didn't come for that.
Right.
I didn't come for my damn childhood.
Right.
Now, can we get to that? But
Right.
can I tell you why I'm here?
Absolutely.
And so or they'd throw me a book and say, read this book, Codependency, or read this book about childhood trauma. They either want to throw a book or they want to start off with, what happened with your childhood.
Yeah.
And so what I had liked coming to you was that, one, I had an agenda, right?
Yeah.
And I lost my damn mind,
Yeah.
right? So I came saying, listen, help me, because my ass is pink. Ooh, I ain't together right now. You put me back together, pieces back together, okay? And you put scotch tape on and made me back together, right? So, but also too is I'm a whole food.
Yes.
Right? I'm saying I'm
Yes.
a whole food. But what I do like is that you, as you stated, that you go beyond the surface of why that person comes in, right?
Right.
And you just don't want to tackle like couples therapy and they come in and say, I hate my wife or I hate my husband. And it's more of, okay, well, it's something beyond the hatefulness.
Right.
And most oftentimes it's the projection that the spouses are giving off to each other that they're dealing with inside, right?
Yes.
So go ahead.
Yes. But I like what you said around when you came to therapy, it wasn't just about your past, it was about current. And I think when we do come to therapy, we use, as a therapist, is one of the modalities that I use is called person-centered. So what you bring to session, those are the things that we discuss, because nobody knows you better than you, right? So I think healing takes place when you're open and you're ready to tackle certain topics, so if you're coming in and you're motivated and you're saying, this is my challenge today, I take that. And we start from there. And with training, I know how to get back to childhood things. If there are some developmental things that I hear that we need to go back into your childhood and talk about, we can bring that in. But I think one of the most important things is when you go to therapy is that your therapist is able to meet you where you are, not try to take you somewhere that you're not ready to go. Because how will healing take place at that time? Maybe you're not ready, or maybe you don't feel like you have issues in that area. But the areas where you say you feel bad, or these are the areas that you want to work on, we can start there. Absolutely. And I think it's more powerful that way, to use person-centered therapy, where you bring it and we talk about what you want to talk about.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think it's important.
Would you like to have a drink? Are you parched?
Yes.
So
Yes.
So what are some tools that you give to women, business entrepreneurs, in order to deal with the everyday stress that we go through, right? Because we got stress from the business. If we have staff, we got stress from the staff, right? Because we want to make sure that we make enough money for them to be able to pay them, right?
What about your household?
Then your household,
your children.
Your children, right? So you have all those separate entities that we're dealing with at the same time, and yet we haven't even focused on ourselves yet.
Right.
So what were some key tools that you normally give to business entrepreneurs?
So for entrepreneurs, I think one of the main things, and we've heard this word so many times and we use it so much, but the main thing is boundaries. So understanding my capabilities and my capacity. and being okay just because I have energy to do it, but does this match my capacity at this time? And I think as business people, we are strategists, right? So we're always thinking and moving and doing things, but understanding when it's time for me to cut that off. It's not time for me to implement strategies. This is something that I need to lead a person or get a coach for them or lead them somewhere to get help, but it's not my place to do that. Because I think without boundaries, that's when we start getting into burnout. And then that's when we start losing money. And that's when business start going down. And then we start having all kind of fractures in relationships. And when we talk about boundaries, there are rigid boundaries, there's porous boundaries, there's all types of boundaries that we have. And I think in business, we have to master the ability to have flexibility when it comes to boundaries. Because sometimes we do need to go overboard, and then sometimes we need to pull back. But understanding that and being okay within ourselves when we can't do what we're normally doing. Because to be successful in business, you have to be a strategist, right? You have to know how to get it when there is nothing there. You have to know how to make it happen. But we get into that mindset and we want to implement that in all areas of our lives. And that's just not our place. And I think it's hard sometimes when you are a strategist or when you know a lot and have a lot of resources and you see a problem to pull back and not solve that problem. And I think as entrepreneurs, that's one of the things that we have to be mindful with: capability and capacity.
And okay saying no.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to say no and not guilt yourself. I think a lot of times business owners deal with a lot of guilt too around, I got it or I can do it, so I should do it. And no, you shouldn't. No.
Good.
The other thing I think that's really important for entrepreneurs is learning good communication. Having good communication. And when I say good communication, that's broad, but how to resolve conflict in a healthy way.
Oh, yes, preaching. Now you got more to talk about that? Because Lord Jesus, she's not here, but she needs some help too. Together. Together
Right.
we do.
Because
Praise the Lord, Pastor.
Yes.
So how can two separate personalities learn how to resolve conflict? And one more thing.
Yes.
You see the popcorn gallery? You can't see them. I wish we could turn around.
We have a whole audience here.
Right. So knowing the difference between a manager and a leader.
Yes.
How can you combine those two separate leadership roles and with resolving conflict?
So I think when it comes to resolving conflict, understanding your role and the other person's role. The other person also understanding their role as well. And then
you come around here. Come on, partner.
Who that is?
Beverly, she's trying to scoot on out here, then she's trying to say something smart and she exited the door.
Come here, Beverly.
Thank you for your service today.
Yeah, she did such an awesome job.
Come here.
Don't look on the camera, baby. Don't defend yourself. Go ahead.
Right.
Take them gifts over there.
Come on, Big Booty Judy.
Yeah. You gotta come down in the camera, Beverly, and let people see you.
All right, so this is my partner, Beverly, right?
Yep.
So in resolving conflicts when it comes to business entrepreneurs and partners, right?
Mhm.
And learning the difference, not learning, but understanding the difference between a manager and a leader, right?
Yes.
So I feel like I'm a leader. I feel like you're a manager.
Yeah.
Can you agree to that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So knowing those two different roles and learning how to execute them so that we both can be successful without having conflict.
Yeah.
How can we do that?
But I think when it comes down to when we talk about conflict, right, we have to go back to the root of it, who the two of you are as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk heavily about leaders and we can talk heavily about managers, right? We can say titles and all those types of things. But when it comes down to the two of you understanding each other's personalities, also understanding giving each other grace, understanding that there is a partnership. What is partnership to you? What is partnership to you? What is compromise to you? What is compromise to you? One of the issues a lot of times that's a problem with business partners is vulnerability. Both feel like they have to have the power. I don't have to be vulnerable to you. You don't have to be vulnerable to me. And then it becomes this power struggle, right? So I'm right, you wrong. Versus, hey, this is my strength. This is your strength. This is my weakness. This is your weakness. And how we're going to put those together and work together. Because it can work. I do feel like all personalities can work together if you have those basics down pat and you are committed to resolve. But some of us, our personalities, we are chaotic. We like chaos. Some of us like chaos. And we like to deal in chaos and not really resolve things. And that's where a lot of times where the challenges come in at.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You agree? You have any input now?
No, I just think that she summed it up really well, and she described us both well. Yeah, we're strong in different areas, and we realize that. So we feed off of each other's strength.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes us a good partnership.
Yeah. And resolving conflict. You all may have to come up with your own way of resolving conflict. Maybe there's a day of the week that you all sit together, or you all have a plan together. When I feel this, or you feel this, we have space where we can talk about it. And not sweeping things under the rug. I think that's what fallouts come at it with business partners.
Yeah.
When we just start sweeping things under the rug. Or another one that's really big that I don't like is like minimize what each other feel. Or just be dismissive about it. Like, that ain't a big deal. Child, I already did that. But if I'm bringing it to your attention, it's important to me.
Were you looking at me? I felt it.
Yeah. I'm glad you're feeling it.
Okay, hold my hand.
But I think it's important. Yeah, I think it's really important.
Oh gosh.
Relationships are important. Business relationships, and I think you have to make it a priority. This relationship, the two of you have to be intentional about this relationship and how you will resolve conflict. Don't avoid it. Because, you know, feelings and emotions are like a beach ball. You know how you push it down in the water, it's going to come up some kind of way. You know, and it's best to resolve it. Do your best to resolve it.
I agree.
And then another thing too.
Tell Charlotte.
So understanding your type of communication. Some of us are more aggressive than assertive. But understanding there is a difference between being straightforward and aggressiveness. You know? There's a big difference. Some people like to make that excuse of, I just tell it like it is. I'm just straightforward. But your communication style is a repellent. It's aggressive and it's not approachable, and people don't want to work with you. You know?
Well, you know that, and then learning how to channel that, right?
Yes.
And make it an asset versus a liability, right? So I've had to learn that over the years. Thank God that I was somebody's manager over at Advent. Oh, they were male. See, I hired Mel. She's one of my employees. But I was aggressive. No lie, true tea. I was very aggressive because the leadership team that we had wanted us to be that way. They wanted us to be down your throat. They wanted us to be like, listen, be aggressive. Because if we weren't aggressive to them, we weren't meeting the numbers that they wanted us to meet, right? And so when that leadership team left, and I haven't changed. And then you had a new leadership team come in, and they all about, oh, you came in to work on time. Let me give you a gift card. Right. Oh, you stay another 30 minutes. Let me give you. I'm not buying you no coffee, and I'm not giving you no gift card. Yeah. So I had to go.
It's just your style didn't match.
My style didn't match that. I love you, you love me, and we can love on each other, right? But can we do our job first and then clock out and love on each other? Why we got to be loving on each other because you came into work? That's part of your job description. Yeah, right. Your job description is to be here just like I'm here. Yeah. And let's work together. I shouldn't have to praise you for being on time.
But sometimes it motivates people.
Right, and so that's why I'm not getting motivated.
It didn't work for her. So it's different styles. But it's not, that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just a different style. You recognize
the different style of leadership, and so that's why I had to exit myself on out. And here I am being a nurse practitioner because that taught me so well, right? Yeah. To that it's not welcome everywhere. Yeah. Right. So I had to learn to kind of scale it a lot.
But see, that's the good thing about flexibility and leadership, understanding and being able to understand like this doesn't work in this environment. and I need to change. Doesn't mean something is wrong with me. I don't need to internalize it and say I just don't fit here. Maybe this is a situation I need to tweak it. And being flexible. A lot of times we're not flexible, we're so rigid. And when you're very, very rigid, there are fractures in all types of relationships. So that's where you see a lot of people have a rash of fallouts with people.
That's
See
true.
that. Mhm.
I have learned a lot of patience in doing things in decent and in order.
Yeah. And
Praise
meeting
God.
people where they are
Growth.
and accepting people for who they are. Everybody have different things that they bring to the table. Yes.
In decent and in order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything
It's
else? I
true.
don't want to hold you up.
Oh, no, everything was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so good to laugh. It's good to laugh
We
and
fight
have a good
too,
time.
okay?
A lot.
What's wrong with it?
Yeah, we fight a lot.
As long as you just get back. As long as you all forgive each
Scale
other.
it back.
As long as you forgive each other.
It's unconditional.
Yeah.
All right. So, are there any questions that you guys have out here? Anything you want to ask in regards to mental health and therapy, women and therapy? Right.
Y'all be quiet now.
I had a whole lot to
Got
say.
any questions?
Any questions? But yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes.
So my question is, sometimes a lot of people think like therapy has to happen at the point of crisis. How do you train somebody to seek therapy just because you
Preventative.
want to get better you
Yeah.
and do it proactively?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think therapy in itself has such a negative stigma to it. And oftentimes people feel that when I go to therapy, it's because I'm losing my mind or something is going on with me. But that's not what therapy is used for. That's not the only reason. That's one of the reasons. But a lot of times people come to therapy for preventative care, for clarity, for things around, I just want to check in, I've been feeling this way and I just want to find out what's going on with it, or, I'm getting older and I want some clarity around what I should be doing over here, or I want to learn some tools around this, or I want to get better at this. So it's not only when someone is having a breakdown or in psychosis or severely depressed, but it's used also for preventative care. One of the things that I'm really passionate about is talking about mental health just as much as we talk about physical health, because our brain, it's an organ just as everything else, right? But I think the thing is, because we can't hold it in our hand, or we can hide the different things that we go through mentally quicker than we can physical things. So we tend to push it and hide it and feel like it's not that important. And most of us have that negative thing in our mind when it comes to mental health. We think of like the person that talked to themselves or clucking or, those types of things. But mental health is also used, counseling or therapy is also used for preventative care. Absolutely. And I think if we used it more for preventative care, we'll have less,
suicides and
breakdowns.
depressions and
Absolutely.
anxiety. We'll know how to, again, channel and learning how to deal with our emotions instead of just hiding it, as you said, acting out,
Absolutely.
projecting, or trying to cover it up with, say, liquor or
Absolutely.
other drugs and stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
You said sex?
in the chat. There's a question in the chat. Do you think everybody needs therapy?
Well, I think personally, everybody needs therapy. And when I say everybody, it doesn't mean that everybody has an emergency or a crisis going on. But just like you do a regular physical every year, right? Do the same thing for your brain, for your mind, right? Just going in to get a checkup and just talking. I'm a therapist, right? I have a therapist that I see every fourth Monday of the month. Sometimes there's nothing going on, but I just want to go in and I talk. I had a really hard time when I lost my grandmother in 2020, and it took me by surprise. I have a lot of tools on board. I know a lot of things I pray to because I'm a Christian, and I believe in the power and the anointing of God and all that stuff. But I just hit rock bottom around that time and had to take myself out of therapy and all that stuff and take care of myself. No matter how smart you are, no matter how many tools you have, you are human. And there are certain things that traumatize you and sit there. Trauma does not self-heal. Trauma sits in your soul and it sits in your body. And if it's never treated, it sits there and it piles and it piles. And that's when you see people have, different breakdowns and different things that happen because there are so many things that they have not dealt with. So my motivation for you is, yes, everyone needs a therapist because you are living in this human experience. And in this human experience, there are a number of things that happen to you. And certain things that might happen to me that may not be traumatizing, but it may happen to Taiche and be traumatizing. Anything that happens to you that changes your view of yourself, of the world, or of God, that shocks you, that changes your perception, that's trauma. Nobody can tell you that's not traumatizing, that's not a big deal. It may be for you. And when you have that, when you recognize that your perception has changed around the situation, you've been traumatized and you have trauma. Your soul is like a tablet. It writes down everything that has ever happened to you. So that's why you hear a lot of people talk about your childhood, things that happen in your childhood. They may be showing up in your adulthood, the way that you show up in relationships, the way that you show up at work, the way you run your business, the way that you connect with people or disconnect with people. It may come from your childhood. But yes, I do believe everyone needs therapy. It doesn't mean that everyone is in a crisis, but I do believe that everyone needs to have a mental check-in regularly.
And can I add, I feel that, and I'm not trying to isolate us, but African Americans in particular, we all need somebody to touch us, okay? Because of having to break so many generational curses that we have had to deal with, and what we had considered right, and what we had considered normal was not normal.
Absolutely.
So to break that chain, I feel like having at some point therapy, as you said, because you can be going. I'm gonna just again use me for example. I'm just going along with the show, like my constantly hustling and this, not, and the other. It was always second nature because that was always what I was used to.
Absolutely.
So not knowing that the things I had gone through in the past was the reason why I was hustling and I was running and I kept running, and I was running having 10 jobs. I was running away from because I didn't want to be at home in Chicago. I kept running and didn't know why I was running. I just thought that I was hustling because I need to get to my dream. And then once I caught that dream, I felt like I needed to catch another dream and then another dream and then another dream, not knowing that the baggage that I was carrying along with me, each time I thought I was capturing something, I was still holding on to what I did not know I needed to let go.
Yeah.
See, you taught me so well, girl.
Hey,
Yeah.
Black girl magic up here.
Yes.
Black girl magic up here. Yes. It's all a part of healing. Yes. Pastor.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
And from the role of a pastor.
Yes.
I want to say believers, those of us who are believers, need to stop being afraid of a licensed therapist and expecting our pastors, our spiritual leaders to be that space and place for us.
It's true.
We need to realize that a breakthrough on a Sunday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or whatever day you go to service will never take place of therapy.
Yeah. It's true.
Because after that breakthrough, you're going to still deal with some stuff.
It's true.
And that's why we need to not be afraid to have a licensed therapist.
Right.
Yes, your pastor's licensed, but
It's true.
your pastor is only trained or given the gifts or given whatever you to go so far.
Yeah.
Everybody has the training, but you need to go to a therapist.
Yeah.
And stop expecting your pastor, your spiritual leader,
Yes.
to be that therapist because they can only take you
So
but so far.
Yeah.
But can I
agree with
add
that.
as to why us gravitate to pastors though? Because it was a history that when we didn't have the same opportunities as everybody, and so therefore the church was our sacred
Absolutely.
home.
Absolutely.
It was childcare, it was teaching, it was spiritual healing, it was therapy, it was everything
Absolutely.
back in the day. And so this is again breaking the generational curses and things that I'm not saying going to you is not normal because it is.
It is.
But knowing that you need to couple that with medication, you may need to couple that with a licensed therapist.
With a licensed therapist, correct.
But that comes with education, right? And talking like we're doing
Yes.
and changing because the church was everything to us.
Yes.
Right.
Because it gave us everything because we didn't have
Got
what everybody
safety.
else had.
Right.
It's our
Right?
safety
Right.
net.
Right.
So,
You're right.
so that's a very hard thing to kind of unwind and turn.
But
on.
I agree with Pastor Sandar, and I appreciate you bringing up that point around church and science. The two of them, they do go together, you know, and I do believe that prayer is an intervention that we can use. I do believe that praise and worship is an intervention. I just think when we talk about healing and moving from one space to another space, it takes a multidisciplinary team. So I do believe that your pastor has a place. I believe your therapist has a place. I believe your life coach has a place, because they all three can help you in different areas when you're talking about moving through from one area to another one when it talks about healing. But as Christians, I believe we're made of three parts, you know, and one of them is the spirit and one is the soul. And I think the part that we're assigned to as therapists is the soul, the tablet, you know, and I think that our pastors are assigned to our spirits, you know, and when we do become, the more healed we are, I think the more efficient and effective we can be in the spirit. So the two, I believe, quickly, just talking about that quickly, I believe they do go together, but I do believe that prayer is a strategy. It's an intervention that you need. I do believe praise and worship and going to church and connecting with people. There are studies that tell us that what helps with depression is connecting with other people.
Yeah.
So I look at church a lot of times with my clients who are Christians. Church is like a support group. You go get filled up, talk to people, you know, learn a few things, go back, come back, you know, just like a regular support group, you know. There are more things that happen in church than in the support group, but I look at it that way, just to give an example of the two going together. You do need both. And I don't think it's just one or the other. And to speak to what you said, I do believe in history, our history, church was our safe space.
Yes.
You know, it was a space where we get all our resources, where we go and get everything that we need. But as the church has evolved and things have changed, and a lot of us in this human experience, things have changed, I do feel that we need therapy. Absolutely. Because you and sometimes people may say, how do you know when it's time to go to a therapist? When you have patterns, or you're going through the same thing over and over, and you're doing everything that you can, 9 times out of 10 is deeper soul work that needs to be done that you don't understand. There are things that's deep that you don't understand, and you do need a trained ear, someone who is a licensed therapist that can help you bring that stuff to the surface and move you through that.
Good.
Yeah.
You guys have any questions for Miss Charlotte?
I have a question.
Yes.
So,
I like your necklace.
thank you. So I've been struggling with getting my family to do counseling together. So we've all been caregiving, but some don't caregive because of issues they have or had with the parents.
Okay.
So I hear all the issues, we hear, well, why you're not here, but trying to get everybody together to kind of resolve so that we all can play this role has been very difficult. And I'm kind of tired of that stuff too. It's like, go talk to somebody when you talk to.
Get you some help.
How do I get everybody on the same page? Because it's a lot.
That's challenging.
I carry the role pretty much by myself, but just trying to
It's
get,
heavy.
even if it's a visit, just come.
Yeah.
Trying to get, let's all sit down together.
And talk.
Let's talk about it.
So do you think they would come together if it's just the siblings versus without
that's
without the parents? Okay.
Yeah.
So just the
Six
group
of
of you, 6 of you all coming together. So do they believe in therapy at all?
Well, some of them go to therapy individually,
Okay.
but
But
I don't feel like it's for it would help in this area.
in the family area.
Yes, that is
Okay.
like what Taiche said out here saying, well, they told me when I was a kid, when this happened to me, that ain't got nothing to take to your mom right now.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
I'm a strong believer that I'm the baby. So whatever happened to y'all with the parents, when mama had y'all at 14 and 15,
Yeah.
she was a child. So somewhere you're gonna have to find some grace.
Yeah.
Because she was a child. You can't carry that when we're 60. But now she needs us.
But you'll be surprised how we want our family members to move towards forgiveness and grace, but that trauma that they've experienced is real to them, and moving them to forgiveness may not be what they want. And they may not be at a place where they want to reconcile and come to a place of togetherness. It may be too heavy for them, but for you, I would say it may be time to release that and allow them to be who they are. Not to avoid it and not to give up and say it ain't gonna happen or nothing, but to give you that relief so that you can be the best you, because that's heavy and it can feel like nothing is coming together. I do all this stuff myself, but when you get to a place where you can release it and say, like, I have to meet y'all where you at. If you don't feel it's important enough to do this, and I'm telling you I need help in these areas, I have to release y'all and allow you all to be who you are and let them be who they are. But for you, make sure that you're taking care of yourself and understanding what your limitations are. And as the baby, so birth order is very important. So as the baby, we're usually the ones that try to gather everybody. Come on. And the oldest ones, they remember everything. They carry everything in the family. And they're usually the ones like, no, you don't remember, this and that. But allowing them to have that space, allow them to have that and deal with that themselves and release it. Not avoiding it and not saying that it would never come together, but I think it releases you because caregiving is already heavy. And then trying to make them come together to do it. That's another heaviness, which can be another breach in the relationship. And meet them where they're at. What can you get them to do? Can you get the diapers for me every day? Every week, and bring them to the door. What can you use them? What capacity can you use them in? Because the more you fight with them, the more they're going to resist. The more you try to make them, the more they're going to say no. So meeting that resistance, not matching that resistance, but releasing them and letting them be. Because it's hard. That's heavy because listen, it will be so heavy for you, right? You'll be carrying the caregiver, then trying to get the family together and then dealing with them. That'll give you this mindset of unforgiveness for them. And then it's like this circular causality that happens in the family. I'm mad with y'all because y'all won't do this. I'm mad with you because you're trying to make us do this. And then it's all division everywhere. So it's best like, okay, y'all, I love y'all. And let me tell you, forgiveness is one of those hard ones. It's hard sometimes when people do things to me and it's hard for me to let it go. I remember. Yeah, I remember stuff and it hurt, it literally hurts. So coming from a person that's challenged with that part of forgiveness, I don't believe that when people say, I just forgive, like I forgive them. Sometimes that's from a place of avoidance. Like, I don't want to feel it. I don't want to deal with it. So I just forgive you and I'll leave you alone, But sometimes you have to sit in those things that have happened. You have to sit through that stuff and allow those feelings to come in, feel it and work through it and work towards healing. So maybe they're not at a place where they can forgive just yet. And it's hard to fathom that for your siblings with a parent, but that's where they are, honestly. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Welcome.
So good. You did such a good job. So good.
This is something else here.
So good.
Yes.
I'm on call.
Okay.
That's why you keep hearing that sound, and I'm not answering.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, y'all.
All right. So I thank you so much for coming by.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Partaking a little bit of wine and cheese.
Yes. This
and
is so
doing
nice.
some right?
Really
You
nice.
were to come again? Yes.
Yes, I definitely will come again. You can always reach me on my website, www.charlottemccullough.com or 407-230-4582.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
So you got her
Bye,
number?
y'all.
What was that number?
407-230-4582.
I need to check.
She's a whole nutcase all in
Okay.
one. You're going to
All
have to
by
crack
herself.
that one. Yeah, child.
Y'all are true. Look at what you want? Some money, right? Thank you, Tasha.
You are so welcome. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears and Pastor. Okay, we're gonna talk about sex and STIs. Now, I'm talking about STIs in women. Sexual health.
I'm good with sex. What you mean?
Okay, I
had
told
it.
you had. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So who wants to sit in the hot seat with me? I can't sit here by myself. Nita, I'll bring Nita over here. She don't mind.
I don't mind. Yeah. I ain't got no makeup on though.
It's okay. Listen, whatever's on this camera looks real good.
No, I do.
Don't
Y'all
it?
excuse my hair. I ain't get my hair done next week. I look like somebody tomorrow. Y'all leaving? Don't leave the fuck in the top talking. You know what? I'll snatch your wig off.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'll see you
Thank
coming.
Mm-hmm. Bye, baby. All right.
Monique. She gotta go get some. Hi, everyone. I look tired. Taiche worked me to death today. Y'all. I had to earn my check.
Every penny she did.
I is my eyelashes still there?
It's still there, friend. The glue stuck.
It's-
Mm-hmm.
The glue, they did good. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did a good job.
So what we gonna talk about now?
Okay, so because we about to talk about sex now,
Oh yes, Lord.
right? So
Excuse me. Let's just
want to talk about intimacy amongst women in the 40
Mhm.
to 60 bracket is very important. Intimacy is very important,
It is.
right? So when it comes to that, we have kind of discussed it before, like way back months ago, right?
Yes, we did.
We did. So I was astonished and I was shocked, and I learned a lot of things that men were doing to
Ooh.
make sure that they were able to perform in the bed
Ooh.
when all they had to do was come see me. I could have helped on that.
Ooh.
But
Girl,
can you
want me to tell you
highlight
what they?
can you
Oh.
highlight a few things that they
I can
that they
tell
would
you.
do?
So they have these pills at the checkout registers at the corner stores. Lightning rod and I forgot the name of the other ones. But these men are actually taking them so they can perform. I said what? And they have oils they put on there, y'all. Honey. Somebody said they took a teaspoon of honey so they could perform because I guess honey's supposed to give you it's like an aphrodisiac.
Yeah, aphrodisiac. Yeah.
And it makes them have an erection.
Oh.
Blood pressure medicine. Huh? What kind of honey? Raw honey. Raw honey. It's aphrodisiac for men. For I don't know what it's supposed to do for us, but I can tell you some stuff I take for me. Hold on 1 second though. Anyway, we'll get back to that. But anyway, blood pressure medicine. Blood pressure medicine for some men makes them get an erection because the blood is going. Am I wrong, nurses?
It makes you get an erection, means you lose an erection.
Some of them cause EP.
Yes.
Right.
But there are a couple that can cause an erection.
Right. And you have your regular Valium. I mean not Valium.
Viagra.
Sorry, Viagra and Cialis that they're taking and getting the boxes. So I'm gonna tell y'all something funny. It's a fast story. I was watching Netflix. And it was late at night, so you know how you turn the TV off and you go. It's supposed to give you a commercial and it goes to something else. They had this man on there, and he was just sitting there, a nice looking fellow like Mr. Rogers. And he was sitting there, he was just talking, and I said, well, what is he talking about? Let me turn the TV up, because that's when I go to sleep and turn the TV on. I turned the TV on, and they got this. He got a black box sitting on the thing, talking about a pill and how he make his wife feel. It had to be because it was adult what I was watching. And it comes in a black box, and it has to be very popular because then I heard it on the radio. I listened to X Radio on the app. They was talking about it on there, but it's so. I was like, well, why don't y'all just go to the doctor and talk to somebody? But they too embarrassed. You too embarrassed to say I can't perform for my wife or I can't perform for my girlfriend, and I got to take this pill so I can have sex.
I think I've heard this black box you're talking about.
But it's the black. I promise. The next time I see it, I'm gonna take a picture of it.
It's like it's supposed to be with like natural herbs and
Yes.
some ish. Right? Yeah. So.
But it's they say the side effects at the end kill you, give you a heart attack. They don't say that part.
They don't say that part. So what I have noticed, when it comes to men and ED or impotence or erectile dysfunction, is that most of the time it is due for medication, i.e. insulin or blood pressure medication, right? Mm-hmm. So they stop taking those items because so that they can perform. Then next thing you know, they end up having a heart attack or they have a stroke and then can't use nothing, not your penis, not your head, not your hands, because you had a stroke and you got left side of weakness, and this one's limp and it's the only arm you can use because you refuse to take your medication. and
they always use the dominant arm.
So you can't have a stroke in a dominant arm because you can't use that hand to stroke when you need to stroke later on. So I'm saying this. So this is the fun part. So y'all want to leave now? Don't leave now. So,
for real.
but in all honesty though, it's very important that if the medication gives you these side effects, that you go back to your provider and talk to your provider so adjustments can be made, right? Yes. If not, then we can always give you Cialis or Viagra legally, and you ain't got to get it from your barber. You got to get it from your cousin. You got to get it from the streets because the streets now are lacing the Viagra with heroin and all kind of stuff. So you can go ahead and try and get it from the streets if you want to. It's like playing Russian roulette. So it's very important that it's hard to bring in men for health, right? It's very hard. It's like pulling teeth. It's like they got to be in their deathbed and they walking. They pale. They about to pass out and die on the floor right there in front of you. That'd be the only way you can get them to the hospital. And damn shame you see no doctor. Right. So it just like the mental health is something that we need to discuss. Men's health is just as important because with men's health, it can talk. It helps with us women's sexual health, right? So if our men's health is not right, then our health is not right either. So we need both of us need to be cohesive and together so that we both can enjoy each other at this stage of our lives, right? Mm-hmm. Because intimacy is still very important as it was in our 20s. We was hopping and bunny hopping and doing all kind of foolishness, right?
My Lord.
We was bunny hopping.
We were hopping. I was hot in the ass. I was.
I do a slide.
Slide on there.
Slide. With the pixie. Guess what my hairdresser did? I told her, just cut off a little.
You know we
I looked, and I said, well, what happened to my hair? Like, I said, cut a little. She done chopped the whole.
So she gonna be at the pixie
I'm
part.
ready for the pixie part. I'm saying all that saying I'm ready for the pixie part.
I am too. I cut my stitches off so I can get a pixie.
Okay. So don't listen. So,
we already talked about this in Savannah, don't we?
I'm getting quick weed?
Yeah.
You can quick weed or dreads?
Girl, come on. Y'all finna come spend y'all money in a good place because you finna see a transformation.
Oh. Okay.
How y'all ladies doing? I think that we'll head into a good old conversation.
Podcast y'all on Tuesday, so she just slid on there. This is Couture. She owns a salon in Altamont, so if you need a good hairstyle, Maitland, I'm sorry.
You doing a pixie party with a nail?
Yes. She coming to buy some clothes for me.
Yes.
She gonna be grown.
So you missed the mental health part, which was very good.
Oh man,
you missed it. But now we're talking about sexual health, and we have brushed upon men's sexual. Remember when you came? We talked about men's health and intimacy
in the barbershop,
and that I had no clue. And
she was taken aback.
Yes, I was. I had to clutch the pearls. So the
barber prescribing the men medicine based on who they want to perform for. So if you got a younger woman,
they go to the gas station.
Yeah, I told them about that too, friend. Yeah, that's Couture.
Hey girl.
Come here, kid. You finna go?
I'm gonna do y'all voice to the car.
Oh, thank you. You so
I didn't know you was here. I just came in.
It's family. Y'all don't worry about it. Anybody come to get us?
Yeah, so basically I was telling them that they the barbers now are either selling medication or they are either stopping at gas stations and getting medication instead of going to see a doctor or coming to TPMS. They pretty much are getting their medicine from
Habib.
Anybody.
You said from Habib? That's his name?
Yeah. Or the liquor store, which is dangerous.
You want some here? I'm not lying.
Oh God! But that's why they're getting their. So they call them like black
lightning.
Blacks, yeah.
It got a lightning bolt on. Listen. After she said that, I went to the store. I'm not lying, y'all. If you go to the little corner stores and in the hood, 7-Eleven too.
7-Eleven.
Wow. They are at the register. and they're sitting there in the box, and it's got all kind of writing on. They got pink. They even got for women too. They ain't just for men.
But I don't think women would. Women
no.
won't buy that
I got
from
too
gas
many
stations.
toys. I don't need that.
But
they have it for men.
Okay, so and we don't because yes,
It's busy.
be very busy.
okay.
So
Yeah.
So, saying that to say, in regards to men's health, come see a provider such as myself. We can do some blood work, right?
Yeah.
And then we can see what is going on, right? And so, oftentimes, it is hormonal. So we can typically fix that. If it's medication that the person is taking, we can make some adjustments based on. As long
What
as
can you
the
do to
provider.
fix a woman who's going through menopause and she has no sexual desire because she's hot?
Okay, so can I finish up the men?
Oh,
So with the men.
there was no men in here.
I know, but we were talking about
But
how
they
men's health is just as important as women's health because the men
They
can be
feel left
intimate with
out.
their wife. The sexual health is coincides, right? Okay, so all I'm saying is come see somebody like me so I can get you together and don't be afraid to walk in nobody's medical door to get
Very
looked
discreet.
into, right? Right. Your business and doesn't go nowhere else outside of here. So please understand I'm here to help. Now, when it comes to women and dryness,
Oh my.
Is that what it is?
you talking about menopause and hot flashes, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's dry or you just have no desire.
So when women go into premenopause or menopausal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have certain symptoms. Not every symptom is going to be the same in every individual as far as women is concerned, right? So for women, when it comes to hot flashes and mood swings, it can the sex drive decreases because of not because of the symptoms, but because of your estrogen levels and your progesterone levels are low.
Okay.
So it decreases as you go through your phase, what we call a phase, right? So as you go through your phase, that's why your sex drive diminishes, right? It doesn't twitch like it used to, right? Right. So we can't, but that's still in yet.
I asked y'all.
You did. You asked. Right? So one of the reasons why the intimacy is lacking, it could be because of vaginal dryness, right? So the moistness that we have, right? It believe it or not is hormonal. So if you're wet down there and pretty well lubricated, your sex drive should be pretty decent. But when you're dry, that means your hormone levels are low. And so when you're dry and you're still trying to please your husband or man or mate, whoever you're with, and you try to have intercourse, it hurts. It's very painful. So we can do a couple things, right? There's always lube, but lube is very temporary. We can give you some estrogen pills or cream. I prefer cream because pills are systemic and it increases your risk of cancer for women. So for me to be on the safe side, because I'm not a doctor and my minors practice can only go so high. So we're gonna do a cream if you want to. And so do a cream. So you put it down in your vaginal area every night. Just a drop every night, right? We can do that. Also, we can also prescribe you medications, right? So there's medications that we can prescribe for menopause that is not hormonal. I.e., one example is Cymbalta. I have done that. Another one is Wellbutrin. We can do that as well, and that will help with the mood swings. It can help with the cravings, and also can help with your symptoms. So it helps with the symptoms. Now it ain't gonna fix the dryness like the estrace can, right? But it at least can calm your symptoms down. So you don't want to get upset because you have your man on top of you and you hot and you want to be bothered and you count down the seconds for that climax to happen. So you go back to
Oh
sleep.
my God, you at my house.
Oh my God. Well, moving on. So let's talk about
It's
lubricants.
not just my house. There's
Mel has a
house.
question.
No.
They just don't want to say it.
It's real like that, Nate. Y'all
house
don't,
is just
don't
like
let her help her. Don't leave out here by herself.
What if you're gonna have any issues with lubrication, but the drive is not there, or around of that climax is not there.
Arousal or climax is two different things.
Both.
Okay, so are you on any antidepressants?
No.
Are you on birth control?
No.
Okay. How old you is? How
How
Oh,
old
How
are
old
you?
are you?
Okay, so you're 25.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so have you engaged your have you had your premenopausal symptoms yet?
I'm thinking I'm gonna get
Okay,
At night sweats.
now it can,
not like this is, you know.
are you married still? Don't mind me asking. Are you still married? So you're in an entanglement or you're in a strained relationship, right? So that's a mental thing, right? So if the person that you with, you're not sexually aroused to be around, then that could be the reason why.
You get a toy.
We don't want to. Everybody don't want
So that could be the reason why you don't want to engage in sex. So when you do engage in sex, the climax is not there. Because while you're engaging in sex, you're thinking about what bills need to be paid, what I need to do in the morning, what do I, damn, I gotta go to work, I don't wanna go to work. And so so you're thinking about things, but you're not intimate with who you're with.
Right.
Because when you're intimate, not only, because we saying souls attached to each other, right?
That's right.
So as you're intimate with that person, you're supposed to be as one when you're intimate, correct?
Mhm.
So if you feel like you separate and you're not there, then that is the reason why you're not climaxing.
It used to be that way, but not no more. So in the good part, so it could be a mental.
Yeah, it's mental.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So some women, your peak is at a certain age, but I noticed a lot of 40 and over, your peak is higher.
Mhm.
Is that normal?
Yes.
Oh.
Because it's like the last bow out. We're gonna go ahead and get this in before you get menopause, and you ain't gonna wanna. You gonna end up like a tour. You're having hot flashes. You don't feel like being bothered, and
I don't feel like that. I'm almost 50.
But I'm not saying that. Have you
Oh.
reached premenopause yet?
Yeah.
What you when you started having menopause symptoms?
I've been having them. They put me into menopause. What they give you?
You got a
Shot.
hysterectomy?
Yeah,
Yes, I did. They give you that shot to make you have hot
Maybe
flashes.
because you have a
Well, not. I don't want to be too graphic.
Yeah, don't be too graphic.
because sometimes if you have
I didn't have a partner per se, but I had devices. So
Like the road.
yeah,
I'm okay with that. I'm that way too, though.
That's
I'm
best
that way
friend.
too. I'm that
Right.
way too. If I do
So,
myself, I'm
right, I'm fine.
But
I don't
I'm
need
taking
it.
I'm
People
talking
think
about
like
drive them out or something.
The roads don't drive you out,
No,
man.
baby.
No, don't do that.
Well, I don't know. I don't
Buttons
have
back there.
to.
Hallelujah. No, it don't.
So what was
That
your
was my
question?
boyfriend.
the road,
Yeah,
So,
the boat-
no, you answered it already.
Oh, okay.
That was it. See, I ain't get too graphic.
You had to.
So
You got stressed
basically,
out.
No, I ain't get stressed out, but the Suki is like the road.
Yeah.
Oh, it's called a Suki.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
a Suki.
the one that's up too.
Yeah, it does some wonders, baby. It does. You didn't know me gonna make that.
This is PG. I'm sorry, you guys that are new back there in the back to our podcast. We get PG almost R.
This show is
No, we
very
get-
for real. That's quite great.
But the
Yeah,
people
but-
out here,
it's
they
backwards.
like these. They actually
We
question.
get rated R, and then we go into PG.
I was trying to
It's-
ease them in.
No, you just tell
So
the truth.
yeah,
That's-
we just if you have any questions that you need to ask them.
This is where you get the answers.
This is where you get the answers. That we are very honest. So anywho, you
No, I was trying
so
to put it in a nutshell.
people are ashamed to bring other. This is another thing you can do in your bedroom to bring excitement. You have to bring toys and stuff in here. This man's sick of you coming in there looking like in a moo and with
That's
a shower
not-
cap.
I don't
on.
believe that.
No,
I don't
for
believe
real.
it. I believe
I asked
work.
Well, moo-moos that you
What
got.
was right for?
Look, hold up now. Hold on. Wait a minute. 'Cause
What kind of
moo-moos-
moo?
I'm gonna tell you. Wait, friend.
The one with the grandma with the hat bonnet on?
Wait,
It
they
works.
got the moo
My grandma
but
had
you gotta
it
have a
for
little you gotta have a little jiggle. I can't come in with no
You got to
moo-moos.
have a little jiggle.
Yeah, you gotta
What
have a
a
little
jiggle
movement.
Gotta have something under there that they can
Yeah,
see.
so
Moo-moos work. Moo-moos
Can't be
work.
like-
I'm gonna show you this
Our
lady.
grandmother's got too many children. Moo-moos
I'm
work.
gonna show you this lady, Miss Jackson. Go to Miss Jackson page on Instagram. She did a whole they doing a moo challenge. So she was on there with a moo on, baby. That booty was going.
I mean, you gotta have something. Yeah, you
Yeah, I
can't
can't
be,
get on
you
that
can't be
moo-moo.
20 pounds
I-
and put on the
First
moo.
of all, I can't dance.
But to be honest,
Oh, we saw that on TikTok.
Shut up.
So basically, what
That
you're
was
saying?
shade. She
What,
made me do
what,
it. I almost picked your ass up.
so basically,
That
what
was
you're saying
great.
is we need as women to bring some desire to the bedroom, right? Is that what y'all saying?
Yes. So anyway, back to what I was saying before she said I couldn't dance. I really can because I got videos. Anyway, so you can learn how to dance too. Do some chair dances. Do something. I mean, a lot of men have been complaining. So I have male friends. And
They're
they say y'all be
complaining
coming
about
to y'all coming to bed looking like how y'all looking.
Well, can I say they come to bed looking
Look
like
at how
they're-
they looking too. It's
and
both,
they're no longer
both ways.
they're no longer Levi's fine because I'm old school.
Can I talk about those first? Can y'all talk about
But
them?
no, I know because you
This is
said
a balance.
no. You said what they're
So
saying.
what if
but
it is Levi's fine?
then
and she coming here-
then I don't have to come to TPMS to be moist because he's already.
Wait a minute.
He
Wait a
brought-
minute.
He bring you right where you need to be.
Right. So Levi's.
Because
Yeah,
you're not
she's
getting what.
TPS, she's a shea babe. I'm a shea babe too.
But I'm just saying
shea
you're
babe all
not
the time.
getting. You're not getting.
So you're
what
not
you need.
getting what you're giving.
Because
right.
look
Okay.
at a lot of these men are driving cars with their stomachs.
I was trying to be nice today, but yes, they are. So the ones who complaining, first of all, you
They
gotta have
probably
enough.
they're the ones that look the way I just said.
Okay. Right. And she's sticking you just on top of her, just doing this. I mean, you know, with the curve in your back.
I'm just being totally honest. These men, listen, hold on. Men that's
I was
living,
trying to be
men that are living a long time, and men that, and no
Yeah,
disrespect,
they
but men
back
that
on
are
back.
living a long time, or men that really keeping up their body, they're either younger men that's killing their body, or if this man is halfway decent, he's
Right.
probably in a relationship because she makes his doctor's appointments.
Ooh.
After that, the in betweens, no, they're not taking care of themselves, and by the time they done came out them
I'm sorry,
streets,
ma'am. I know it's your first time.
by the
Go
time
ahead,
they
tell
come
them.
on out them
She's
streets,
fine. No, she's fine.
Okay.
by the time they come out the streets and come in,
Yeah.
they got gout,
Ooh.
high blood pressure,
Diabetes.
erectile dysfunction,
Taking them gas so
hair loss.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They got a lot of issues, and then now they want to become
They
in a
want you to be,
relationship.
they want you to be Tyra Banks. So okay.
Now they
so
want to be in a relationship.
that's to be fair.
And so those are the ones. Let me just say this: those are the ones that's complaining about what we're
Well,
wearing
no,
into the
some
bathroom.
of them got a point. Now, because I let you say your piece.
Okay.
Some of them got a point. Some of us have just gotten lazy.
Okay.
Let's tell the truth. Now, they if you stick his, just be sick of him. Hell, but if you want him to be turned on by something, give him something to look at. Come in
Yeah,
here.
you should
Hell,
take care
some
of
of y'all, some of us let ourselves go too. And
Yeah, I let myself go 3-4
Right.
I just come back.
right. So it goes
back.
right.
Yeah,
They
I know.
come to TPMS and gather yourself together. Gather your coins. Gather yourself together. Come get some of these wraps, this oil, some of these pills, these shots, some of that. Get yourself together. It goes for both parts. Men too. Get yourselves in here. Get these shots. Get these pills. Get some labs done first, because y'all men come in here and say I ain't had labs done in 3 years
Because they
and I don't know
don't
what's
have
wrong
a
with
lady
me.
to send them to the doctor. I
Some
just
are
told you.
married and they don't listen to their wives. If she out here, she in TPMS and she don't left your ass behind. And you out here looking like something. And then Sean that's 29 gonna come stand you up because she's looking like she's 25. And your ass over there still looking like you looking like you
Well.
60 when you should be with her.
And then they'll say the devil did it, but he
Well,
didn't.
hell, he was the devil and she left. So if your wife getting fined, I recommend that you come in and get fined with her. Because don't think she just ain't gonna leave
And vice versa.
because you paying payments on the car.
I don't like to see men who work out and they're really health conscious, and their wives,
They wife is like a
It's
bag
horrible.
of donuts.
their wife is horrible.
And she want to cook pork chops every night, and he don't even eat that no more.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like
So
that.
it's a joint effort, is what we saying. Your bedroom got to be and your health, and they got to match up, and the bedroom got to match up. At this age, if I keep eating how I was eating,
Well, the bedroom ain't gonna never match up because the woman
well,
can
mine
keep,
gonna match
well,
up.
no, you're gonna be able to keep going, and that man gonna slow down. I don't care
I
who
bet
he
you I
is.
promise it ain't.
He is going to sit on that toilet and pee.
I prefer you sit on the toilet.
But I'm just
I don't want to come in the middle of the night and go in there. Oh, he can sit on that too.
Y'all know that at a certain age,
They gotta sit down and pee.
no, we still got it, and he is.
And he gotta sit
He
down.
either gonna
Baby, I'm
use
gonna
it, he gonna
get
wear it
all the
out.
oils and the creams that I'm getting to at both our asses.
What I'm
You
saying
gonna get
is you'll
stressed.
still be able to keep going years later, and he will no longer be able to go.
You're gonna get some medicine for that.
But after a while, if he ain't went to the doctor in 20 years, his heart ain't good. He can't take that stuff.
No, long as it works.
He can't take that ED medicine, and his heart ain't good.
I get a toy. Here, baby,
They
Steve,
got
in your
you
hand.
pumps.
Ooh,
That's
Lord
they do.
Jesus.
I work by the
Yeah,
Keystone
it's
Center.
time for you to find your whole trade him in.
Pump it up. No, it's very discreet.
When you're
All they gotta
pumped,
do
no,
is push a
I'm
button.
not pumping no husband up. I'm not. Trade him in.
Look, push this
It's
button,
too
baby.
much
I promise you, it's gonna be
mileage.
the mile of your life.
What happens with your car when there's too much mileage?
You
Your
trade
car
it in.
start breaking down, and you have to. You gotta
Take
trade it in.
Take it to the mechanic.
If you not
I'll say
as a
mechanic.
woman, as we are women in here, when we no longer take care of ourselves,
Yeah,
And
they
we
trade
let
us in for
ourselves
some
go.
final. Yeah,
if they don't
They
trade
gotta
you,
be
this
fine.
is
They
the
can be
difference.
trash.
This is
They
the
don't do
difference.
now.
This is the difference. They don't trade you in. What they do is they sit you in the garage, and then they go drive something else.
Oh,
And then every now and again they
Exactly.
bring you out,
yeah.
and I go, "Then she's still here. I still gotta put you back in the garage." And
Where's
so,
her
in
man?
order for you to come out,
She done left.
Girl, they need therapy because they know where
In
it is.
order
You
for
could've put me in
you-
no damn garage. It's too hot out there.
hey, listen, I'm just keeping it real. In order for you to come and stay out of the garage,
Come
you
to
need to,
TPMS.
you need to go
Men
fix
don't
yourself
slow
up. You
down.
need to
Yeah,
go
because
get
now
maintenance.
the scripts have flipped, friend. It's the men that's crying. now.
Right, you have to, as women, we have to continue
yourself
to
together.
get maintenance.
Because my friend that came in
If
and
the-
got fined again.
If the maintenance is nip and tuck, if the maintenance is go have surgery, then come and let her do the
Save your
body.
coins. Y'all
Do whatever
stay
it
out,
takes.
stay out this damn crab place to save your money and come in here and get a shot. That's what you need to do. Crab prices done went up. I went there. I was $60 for some things.
Well, whatever it is, however it is, whatever
Come
it
and
is.
save your money and take care of your health.
Yeah, but whatever it is to get back to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's
don't
not
have to
about a
be
body
health. It don't have
shape.
to
It's
be-
not about a. It's not about any of that. All jokes aside, it's not about a body shape. It's not about any of those.
None of that. Because some of us
Carnal
ain't never
things.
gonna have no ass.
But you
Okay.
want to get back to yourself. And
Correct.
whatever yourself is, and whatever it feels good to you, whatever is healthy for
You
you,
first.
you get back to yourself, because you will listen. Half the time they don't have to put you on a shelf or put you in a garage. You put yourself in the garage,
Correct.
being on a shelf,
Before you
because
got
you don't
there.
like what you're seeing, and then you're mad. You don't even like what you're seeing, but you want him to like what he's seeing. Right? This is crazy.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you don't like you.
Right.
You in a place where I don't like nothing about me right now. But then you'll get on the phone with your girlfriend and say, "But I'm looking for a man." You don't like you. Somebody needs to tell you the truth, but you don't even like yourself. So how somebody else gonna like you?
Girlfriends tell you need to sit your ass down somewhere and stop looking for something. Look for Jesus.
No, fix yourself. Get yourself together. You know what I'm saying? We you know, there are a lot of women that's single, and a lot of times I don't know if that's a bad thing to have what people go through, but I'm just saying. But get to you. That way you can command what is going to come to you.
Amen.
Because that's how you got to command it, and you can't command it, and you over there, you know.
A wreck.
Because let's just be honest. What are the single people saying on dates? What are they saying to these men? Are they telling these men up front what they want or what they don't want? Are they beating around the bush? Are they believing that these men just know what they want?
No, I mean these young ladies nowadays are very vocal with what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They get when they want to get stretched out.
It'd be us in our 40s up here having a damn fantasy. They do. I see so much lies going on Facebook. I can't take it. I just unfollow you because don't be on here lying because I really know you. So
For real.
Well, some people don't believe they're lying. They believe they're speaking it into existence.
They manifest it.
every day.
I don't know why. I don't know, what.
The pastor done ran out of friends.
I mean, I'm just saying, some people just do believe that if I say it enough,
Mm-hmm.
that it will happen.
That somebody gonna believe it.
Yeah. I mean, you can walk around a car lot and look at the car you like, and you
You're
can walk
right.
around that car 20 times, but
Mhm.
if you don't have money or credit, either way, you're not going to get it.
You're Right.
So, walking around it ain't gonna always, you know what I'm saying? So, I know people say, pray on it and keep praying and say it and say it and say it and it's gonna come to pass. No, because faith without work is dead. So you gotta work it.
That's right.
So you gotta work toward, and you gotta open your mouth. You cannot date, especially in this day, you can't be dating and not talking.
Right. And they doing a lot of talking.
Yeah. And then to be honest, listen, we got some women right now that don't want to be in a relationship. They just want you between the hours that their children are asleep. So between 2 and about 4, and by 4:05, you need to be in your car for my baby to get up. You got some women who, I ain't in the mood for all this. I don't want to be about you. I don't want to cook for you. I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to be bothered. You got some women who don't want to be bothered. And
they
so
want it in between.
They want between 2 and 4 a.m. Their children are asleep. I ain't got to leave. Come on in and get on out here before they wake up. And I don't think that makes it bad. I think it makes them smart because they say, let's headaches. Yeah, being honest. Long as that person come between 2 and 4 ain't somebody else's husband or something. Yeah, all right.
Let us pray.
No, I'm just being honest.
It's a lot of.
If they're single and you're single, but you don't want to be committed,
but that's not the case, friend. It's the single married man for me. And she told him that he was dropping Bobby off and he'd been at Susan.
Yeah, but I came to realize now too, we got a lot of single married women.
You do. Oh,
women are having just as many affairs as they have just.
Yeah, they trifling. They don't have one. They have like 3 of them.
Oh wow.
Well, it's called Build-A-Bear.
It's called working over.
That's what it is. You know the bear that used to.
It's called Build-A-Bear.
You put the book in the back of the thing. And
right. No, he's
that book.
He's good at showing up to the kids.
It's called Build-A-Man.
Build-A-Bear. Build-A-Man.
Ain't no man.
He's good at showing up to the kids. He's good at paying this. He's good. I had an aunt. This is no lie. Lord, if she's watching this podcast, she knows about her. When
I can't take them off my stomach.
Well, no. What I won't do is lie on nobody. I'm not saying their names, so I'm not gonna. I don't use names. But when my grandfather passed away, I remember going there, and I was like, you know how we do as colored people. We go, who that is right there cutting the yard? Oh, that's such and such friend. Oh, well, who that is right there doing that? And that's such and such. She had 4 over there, and everybody was doing something different. Now I ain't gonna lie. When I got in my car, I said, "She got it going on." To have 4 of her men here, and everybody is getting along because everybody is teamed up. One was cutting the grass from her grandmama. One was doing something else in the house. Well, I said, "Now you know what."
I was jelly.
Now I've never seen nothing like
that.
That
back in the day, Miss Richard. Yeah.
I've never seen nothing like that. And then the throw, hold on, y'all. Now listen, hold on. I ain't even throw the wrench in there yet.
Oh, Father, I ain't ready.
Yeah. She had a girlfriend in there too.
On that note, it was great. Thank you guys so much for coming in and being with us today. Couture is always welcome. Don't y'all talk about her when you get off here?
No, I want them to. Because I'm going to
don't say it to me or her. You can say what you want. But don't say it to me or these things. But seriously, please get your husbands to come in here and get some health care. Because it's very serious. Especially at our age, they need help. And they dropping off like flies, seriously. I done seen 3 or 4 people that have passed away.
Or they're in the nursing home and they're 42 and 44
and having strokes.
They had a stroke and they looking pitiful. I mean, they look
the lady just said her son, her nephew had an overdose at 38.
From fentanyl. Yeah. Thinking probably taking the oxy pill.
They taking fentanyl, they putting in the weed.
Yeah. So y'all get your husbands in here and by all means, if you need any sort of we not only do weight loss here, we do healthcare as well. Total Body is here. Okay, so y'all come in and get you some scripts, get you something, help yourselves.
Back to school physicals.
Back to school physicals.
Do you do antibiotics for people?
I do everything.
I'm on something right now.
No, that's not what I was.
For allergies though, don't start that damn room.
Right, that's why I didn't want to be like, why would you tell that? Because I was asking for the other thing because there are some people out there that need antibiotics.
Right, and so, but we didn't get to talk about that because Charlotte was here, and it was such a deep conversation that I didn't want to cut it off. So I guess we have to talk about that next time. To talk about women's sex. I want to talk about trichomonas, chlamydia, and syphilis.
If it's hot down there.
Those are the 3 top STIs.
No, I really want to hear about trichomonas. I had a when I was in high school, I had a young girl that was a friend of mine who had trichomonas, and I had never heard of that. I had never heard of it until she said, "I have." I say, "What is that?"
Vaginosis is very common.
We were teenagers.
It's not an STI.
She couldn't explain it.
No,
I always thought it was.
No, bacterial vaginosis is not an STI.
No, because pretty much every woman done had
bacterial vaginosis at some point. Yes, that's true. Now, but trichomonas is a protozoa. It's like let me tell you. I'm trying to say it before we end. So protozoa, like how you look at a microscope and it has all these different legs and it's just wiggling.
Oh, Jesus.
It's wiggling in your vaginal tract.
Oh, it's a lot.
So this is what I want to talk about. We don't have time. We got to talk about next time. So
yeah, well, that's what bacteria is always alive.
Well, no, trichomonas is not a bacterial infection. Trichomonas is a protozoa infection, so it's like a fungal-like infection.
Oh,
it's a whole different beast.
Women get it from men. Men get it from.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So, because a lot of times we women, we don't have symptoms, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the time we don't know we have symptoms until we're bleeding, we have a pelvic pain, we have a back pain, and we don't know. You burning when you go to the bathroom, and so we don't have the symptoms. So therefore, most of the time, by the time you get pelvic inflammatory disease. So I'm saying that to say because in this bracket, this is when women get divorced, women separate, and then you venture out into the dating pool, and the dating pool is quite suspect, right? That's why you better work with the one you with, honey, because baby, at least half the time that y'all good for the most part. But saying that this is so the STIs peak in your late teenage, early adulthood, and then it drops because we women then get married, right? And then if a lot of us get divorced or we get widowed or we separate, then the STIs go back up because we have an unprotected sex.
Like the villages.
Yeah, like the villages.
So that's a whole nother conversation. They're hunching in Publix. Under the cabana, they do line dancing.
They have the the loofahs that we bathe with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So black mean I'll watch, purple may mean I'll threesome. So they hang them on their cars.
So they hang on their golf carts. They drive in the golf carts. They drive
or the antenna of their regular
in the golf carts, and it's bedazzled. They swing.
Yeah. So they got a whole.
It's a whole community.
Yeah, it's a whole lifestyle out there.
It's 5 and 0 to get it out.
Listen, they be coming in with that oxygen tank talking about, I want my CRs refilled. How? Can't even breathe. They can't breathe.
No, I never heard that before. No.
Listen, them women been bent over on them, those generator things, those green generators.
And if it blow up, it's gonna take all of them out.
And just a punching outside.
With the oxygen on.
And no sexy clothes, no toys,
and a moo-moo.
And a moo-moo. So that's all I want you to know. And I'm done.
So y'all hear that, black men? The people out there in the villages, they don't give a damn what she got on. I just needed them to know.
What she got on.
Long as she can put that leg on. Put your leg up, Becky, and get to work. How you turn this off? Y'all is crazy. We on YouTube. Well, welcome to our podcast.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for coming.
Next Tuesday. No,
Sometime in the future.
Keep an eye on it.
God dang.
Bye.